Hello, greetings from the changing room. The changing room has changed. Welcome to my room. So the question that I'm addressing today is how to strengthen your lower back. A lot of people have this problem. I actually had it for a long time where you go for a long walk or something and your low back just feels really tired afterward and sore. So I just put together a quick little sequence of moves for you that I'm hoping will help you to kind of sort this out and get some strength into your own body. It doesn't just involve strengthening the lower back muscles, although it does involve that, but it also involves the front and the sides too. So kind of put together a little series of moves that goes through everything for you. So my hope is that your body will take what it needs and you'll end up with a stronger, happier low back. So let's do it. First up, come to your back. And I just wanted to show you a proper abdominal curl. You don't actually have to do a lot of work at all to get some really good action in your core. So first things first, just come to your back and then you're going to inhale and just kind of let your pelvis tilt forward just a little bit. So you're not really going to be able to see it in my body, although maybe you could. You'll inhale and just let this pelvis tilt forward a little bit. There's a little bit of space in my low back. And then as you exhale, you're going to kind of pull your pelvis back up toward the ceiling. This lower back pushes into the mat and your front belly engages. So beneath your belly button, between your belly button and your pubic bone, you're engaging this part. So inhale and just let it go, and exhale and draw that in. Inhale and let it go, and exhale and draw it in. And as you start to develop more muscular intelligence, there won't be such a great move. Like I'm trying to exaggerate it so you can see it, but in your own body, my hope is that what you feel is that both sides actually feel strong. Both sides feel like they're supporting things here. So next up, from your back, what you'll do now is you'll do that abdominal curl. You'll sort of exhale and tilt everything up. Belly button moves in toward the spine, and then you lift your hips up here. So now what ends up happening is your hamstrings. So now we're getting into not just the strengthening of the low back, but the hamstrings too. Your feet press down into the mat, and then they gently pull back toward your bum. And what that's going to do is fire up your hamstrings. Be careful that your butt's not clenching, so kind of let your butt go, but do press the feet down and pull them back, and you can feel your hamstrings kind of fire up. So as you need a break, go ahead and take a break, and then if you need to kind of hug your knees in here, you can do that. So after you've done that work on your back, go ahead and move yourself to your side. So again, even though we're talking about your low back, there's a lot going on all through here. This all needs to support you. Think of a corset like your abdominal muscles really are. So now we're going to fix these guys, the abductors, and the adductors. So you'll lie down on your side. You can put your head in your hands, or you can just lie down like this. Either way, your supporting hand does kind of support you here. Squeeze your legs together, and as you exhale, you're going to lift both legs together. So as I'm doing this, I'm using my outside hips, of course, but I'm also using my inner thigh here. So I'm really thinking about this inner thigh on the lower leg, kind of helping to lift me up. So inhale to lower that, exhale. So do like 10 or 15 of those. And then this bottom leg can rest. You can go ahead and then just do the top leg. So again, you're just exhaling and lifting this top leg, but think about this top leg lifting up, but also this bottom leg pushing down too. So imagine resistance on the outside too. If you had a resistance band, you could use it here, and that would be really cool, and that would kind of help things. Next, what you should do is some leg circles. So this top leg, I like to bend my bottom leg, I don't really know why, I just do. This top leg is going to go back a bit, and then you'll do circles. Those circles one way, and do circles the other way. And you'll do a bunch of these too, and what you'll end up feeling is this side here kind of pick up and fire up, and that's really good, again, for kind of getting the whole corset thing on board. So you'll do circles in both directions, and the key here is to make sure that that foot is behind you so that there's engagement through this front part of your hip here. The psoas needs to pick up and do its job. The psoas is another really important muscle in there for strengthening everything all around. So after you've done your sideline work, so obviously you'll go and do your other side too. So same thing here. Come down, support your head in whatever way you want. This hand does help you, so let it help. You're exhaling to lift everything up. You're thinking about not only obviously this top leg lifting, but the bottom is lifting up too. It's definitely doing its part to help lift. So inhale to lower and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And you'll do many of these too. I'm not really giving you a number because what I want you to do is find your own strength and find your own balance here. These kinds of things will always be available for you. So do as many leg lifts as you can, as feels empowering, as feels good to you. And then when you're done, just stop and do it again tomorrow. I think that's the key to a lot of fitness is people beat themselves up, but you don't need to. As one of my teachers used to always say, this practice is 5,000 years old. It'll be there tomorrow. But I really like that. Like, it's true. You know, you can just do what you can for today, and that can be enough for you. So when you're ready to, go ahead and come to all fours. So good old cat-cow. Your hands are right beneath your shoulders and your knees are right beneath your hips. You're just going to inhale and look up, and you're going to send your tailbone up too. You're drawing everything together behind you, so your shoulder blades draw together, and then there's this gathering together of everything kind of in the center of your back. So you know you're doing it well when you feel this kind of drawing together, and the most work is in the center of the back, not in your low back. And as you exhale and round, you reverse all of this, so now you're really driving your tailbone down in between your knees. Your belly button is lifting up into your spine, and your shoulder blades are separating, and you're pushing up and out of these shoulders. This is an exhale, an inhale, an exhale, an inhale, an exhale. So again, do as many of those as you like. This is great for bringing about suppleness into the spine, and there's a little bit of strength in there too. As you're exhaling into this cat, if you wanted to put a little bit of abdominal work on it, you could exhale and even lift these knees because there's so much down action, and that again is going to put a lot of openness into your back, which is going to give it the stretch that it really wants. Okay, so the last move that, second to the last. Hamstring curls. So from here, from all fours, you'll come down onto your forearms. I just like this organization a little bit better. You'll send this leg straight back behind you. Take a moment here and check in. As you lift these toes, can you stay relatively stable, or does everything kind of collapse over into the other side? What you want is to be relatively stable and for your dog to get away from the camera. Can you lay down, though? So from here, you're going to keep your hips very level. You're just going to lift this leg and lower and lift and lower and lift and lower. And this again is speaking to your hamstrings, giving your hamstrings some intelligence here. So as you add on, you can lift up again, and now you can bend and inhale and lower. So it's just like what you would do with a bicep curl. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to keep this right hip stable to the ground. So I'm using a lot of that corset. I'm using the whole thing to kind of keep everything stable and just move this leg. So you do that much on the other side too. So again, you're just kind of checking in here and just making sure that the weight doesn't collapse over onto this right side, that you've got lots of weight in the left too, and that you're pushing up and out of these shoulders, and that everything's very stable here. If you wanted to squeeze something between your thighs, you could, and that would also make you feel like your hips are very square to this floor. So I'm not lifting this up or collapsing it down. Okay, and then again, you just kind of lift and lower. And this is door number one. It's going to take you a little while. There's plenty of work in here to do. You're actually lifting with the back of the leg more than anything else, and you're just maintaining stability through the entire core. And then when you're ready to, you can add on with a little curl. Okay, so do as many of those as it feels good. And now your last one. So low back strengthening, of course, will have a lot to do with just strengthening your back. So there are plenty of exercises in yoga that have to do with this. The first thought is the locust pose, where the hands go back by the hips, and then you extend these legs and you lift. But I think a better one is swimming or Superman, where these arms actually go in front of you, because now you're recruiting this whole thing, right? So now you've got everything. Again, this idea that you're trying to strengthen the low back, but really everything is needing to be strengthened in order to make that happen. So take your arms forward, and then just lift everything, including your head. Your arms stay kind of by your ears, and then you can just swim. And you're going nice and slow. There's not a lot of speed to it. And my hope is that what you're doing is stretching forward with the arms and back with the toes, and everything feels very long here too. And then there's just a little bit of boop, boop, boop strength kind of coming through. And you can, again, do this as long as you can, and then when you're over it, just be over it. It's not a great idea to go straight into a forward fold from here, so after you've done your work on your belly, just put your head, make a hand pillow, and rest. And then you can kind of reverse out of this, so you can push up through all fours maybe. Maybe some cat-cow would feel good in here. And you can end up in child's pose, which is the hips back to the heels. And rest here. This is a great stretch for the low back after you've done your work. So I hope that little sequence will help you. It's abdominal curls on the back, and then into your bridge pose. Then turn on your side and do your leg lifts. Lift both legs and then lift one leg, and then do your leg circles too. Then we come to all fours, do some cat-cow, then do your hamstring curls, and then the last thing is the Superman swim. Just send the arms forward and the legs back and do your swimming motion. Join the swim team. So I hope this helps you. And if there are any questions, or if you need add-ons, or if something weird is happening, you can, of course, reach me on Facebook or through the email, emily@thechangingroom.blog. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.